Here in the Carolinas, and this is a system that's getting very close to the South Carolina, North Carolina border here tonight. That's this line right through here, and our tropical system getting past Charleston and Myrtle Beach, bearing down on Myrtle Beach right now. It looks like it's going to come ashore somewhere down here south of Wilmington. So this area here, watching out for possible landfall. You got I-40 coming to the south. That's an update on what's happening right now on radar. I'm going to pull it up full so you can get a better look at our tropical system. Of course, a beautiful evening in our local area. There it is there. And our tropical system getting very close to coming in here tonight. There's a look at it. Now, I want to show you the wider view. And this is what's going on with the actual satellite picture of the storm. This is over South Carolina and North Carolina. So we've got a little bit better vantage point here with the satellite imagery. A lot of the most intense convection is actually over the land areas and over on the western side of the circulation. This is a minimal hurricane, and it will continue moving to the north as we go through tonight towards Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. And taking a closer look, we've got Oak Island right there. This is where it's likely going to come ashore. It looks like it'll come ashore just east of Myrtle Beach. You've got this point that sticks out here, and then up towards Holly Ridge. So that's the area. And we've got some tornado warnings up right now. I can actually switch those up live so you can see what's going on. And we've certainly been through this a number of times across our part of the world with these landfalling tropical systems. Normally a Category 1 that's moving fairly quickly can cause some short-term problems, but not a lot of major long-term issues. Some of the warnings have been discontinued as far as tornadoes, but we are under a tornado watch. And look at the advisories all the way up to Maine. I mean, you've got, this is going to rake the east coast of the United States. And there's a look at it there with the alerts. So these are some of the things we're going to be focusing in on Fox 10 News coming up at 9 p.m. We've got our landfalling tropical system here. And the winds are at 85, so this is a substantial increase in the intensity of our system as it's moving to the north, and its pressure's 988 millibars. Look at that. So it has deepened some, and that's a big jump. It went from a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm. There was a recon flight, and a recent burst of convection has kicked it up to an 85-mile-per-hour Category 1. So that's a significant increase in wind speed. On the track of this system, as we look at it as it's moving up across North Carolina, Virginia, across Maryland, and up towards New Jersey, this is going to be really interesting here because it's actually going to be getting a reduction in wind shear and an upper level boost from a deep trough that's developing. And so what that'll do is it'll cause it to hold together. And we're still showing it as a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm tomorrow afternoon, and even up into New Hampshire and Vermont as a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm. So the wind field will actually hold together remarkably well with this across eastern North Carolina and Virginia, and that'll cause for some problems as it moves to the north. Also behind it, if you're concerned about anything else out there, we do have this little swirl of clouds is really diminished. It's right in through here, really diminished in intensity, but we'll keep monitoring that for potentially some tropical development over the next couple of days. And just checking in on the latest from the NHC, the National Hurricane Center, on that system. Still a medium chance, but looks like the chances are down to about 50% instead of 60%. So we're definitely looking at a situation where the next potential system, we may have to wait hopefully a little while longer before we get a potential Josephine, which would be the next name on the list. So Isaias is going on up towards the Carolinas. Let's take a look back. I want to switch it back and see what's going on with Isaias here this evening as it's working on up off of Myrtle Beach. There's a look at it there. And so I'll freeze it right there. And it looks like, let's see if this is the one I can draw the line. No, that's going to be a straight line. Let me get a curved line. I'm going to draw out what appears to be the center. Let's see. There's the curved line. Center is going to be right in here. It's kind of ragged. And the storm motion is at about 15 to 16 miles an hour. So you can see that we're probably going to get the system coming across somewhere around Oak Island, North Carolina. And probably the areas that will get the most intense impacts are going to be this shoreline right here, because you've got an onshore flow of wind and water. And then you've got these convective bands. This one in particular is pretty impressive. And it's coming in towards the Cape right now. So Isaias is about to make landfall. We'll be covering this on Fox 10 News as we get into the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock hours. So we may have not only an update from the National Hurricane Center, but potentially landfall between now and about 10:30 p.m. Also want to talk a little bit about what's going on locally with our rain, and we had some big thunder showers. I'm going to back this up about 3 hours and to kind of take you through it here. And you can see right around dinner time, down in the lower part of the county, we had this thunder shower that roared across the bay, came together, and then watch it fall apart past Loxley here. I mean, it just completely fell apart. This system looking a whole lot better. We have a real benefit from the landfalling hurricane in North Carolina, and that's going to be a deepening of the trough. Let me see if I've got that graphic of this lineup to show you here on Facebook here this evening. It's called the water vapor loop, and what that does is it shows where we have dry air and lack of atmospheric moisture in the mid and upper levels on our water vapor loop here, and then moist here. And so there's this deep trough in the U.S., and I'll see if I can pan the map out. Got this anomalously deep trough. Like right now, I was just checking up around Duluth, Minnesota. They're going to have lows in the 40s tonight. Highs only in the 50s today. And so it's carving out a really unusual pattern. And when you have a tropical system that's going to be riding up that side of the trough, it's going to make the trough even stronger. It's going to drag a little dry air front through our area, and it'll actually help our weather out a little bit. And we'll actually see a lower rain chance and some drier air as we're looking at low relative humidity expected in the forecast. So definitely some good news there. Is Isaias goes on up the east coast of the U.S. and works its way on up into the New England states there. So we're about done with our sunset here. And back to the maps, just want to kind of go ahead and give you a peek of what's going on with our extended forecast. The rain chances are much, much lower. We do see an uptick in showers by the weekend and the first part of next week, but some communities, most communities across the Gulf Coast will make it through Friday without any rain, which is great. I mean, we've been in a real wet pattern. We got an opportunity to dry out. Tomorrow's futurecast looks real quiet, maybe 1 or 2 showers. I don't expect the showers that do form to last very long. So good news there. All right, back to radar. An update on the folks in South Carolina and North Carolina. As a whole, South Carolina has come out pretty well with Isaias as it's moving to the north, but the North Carolina area will see much more intense impacts. The center has stayed basically offshore, so South Carolina's just gotten some rain and some rough surf, but I think the North Carolina area, the Outer Banks, Wilmington, these are locations that'll be more Look at that Southport area here, Carolina Beach. These are all areas that will be hit a lot harder by these tropical rain bands that come in tonight. And we'll be covering it live on Fox 10 News tonight at 9 p.m. So hopefully you can get a chance to tune in and see some of our coverage on the system. We'll have live pictures as well. I was just checking in with the producers, just pulling up some of the live feeds of what's going on there in Myrtle Beach and also further to the north. So we'll have plenty to show you coming up on Fox 10 News at 9 and 10 p.m. tonight. And encourage you to stay with Fox 10 News for our coverage throughout the tropical season, as we'll be covering each storm thoroughly. And if we get anything that threatens our area, we'll certainly let you know. We've made it through the preseason. Now we're getting the more active part of the season. So stay tuned as we go through what's been an active year here across the Gulf Coast.